Good morning. My name is Ted Clouser, host of Win the Minute, Win the Day, the show that focuses on bringing hope to the chaos. Today, my guest is Michael Ray. Michael is the founder and development director of Smile Project Louisville. He formed this entity because he wanted to be the reason someone smiled today. He has been spreading love and influencing attitudes and behaviors through random acts of kindness and smiles. It's through these acts of kindness and pictures that have made an impact and inspired others, one smile at a time. This movement evolved from the relationship he has with his nonverbal daughter, Maddie, who has Down syndrome. He has taken hundreds of photos with strangers and delivered countless smiles through random acts of kindness in the community. A smile is the same in every language and costs nothing. Be the reason someone smiles today. Welcome to the show, Michael. It's an honor to have you.
What's up, brother, man? Happy Tuesday. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. I'm so thankful to have you here. It's going to be energetic today, and I look forward to it.
Just slightly. I don't know. I often say, man, I've been blessed with with a lot of that from the good Lord. So, yes, thank you.
Amen to that. Well, let's just jump right in. What is your approach to personally waking up with a go win the day attitude?
For me, I think I look at life, a lot differently than most people in that I find such insane joy and happiness in the simplicity of life. That is in the relationships with people, and the things that I do bring me such insane joy. So, when you find that fuel, passion, and energy in life, you just want to keep giving it away. And it's kind of that Gary V approach in that it's not work. It's not work when you absolutely love what you do, and when you bring life and you give to a stranger, you feel that love, brother.
No doubt. And I mean, you are always smiling. It's contagious. I noticed somebody chimed in on the post today and talked about how those smiles are contagious, and that's what you're all about.
It is just that simple. I'm not an advocate for Coke, but they did this commercial. It's like 90 seconds. And when I talk about how you can be so happy that when others see you, you become happy too. And they really don't even speak a single word. And for probably the first 88 seconds, they don't even show you what the commercial is about. But you feel what I do and how contagious and infectious when people see that simplicity of a smile and happiness in what it does for someone in that moment. And that's really all I'm trying to do on a very simple, basic level is recreate it every day for people.
I love it. Well, Raquel Barras jumped in. I hope I pronounced it wrong. I hear this is where the party's at, and she's right.
Oh, on a Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, baby.
That's right. All right. So I know that it started with a photo at Wendy's in March of 2018 and led to hundreds of photos and videos. Actually, you were in Florida not long ago.
Just
but
recently,
tell us about
yeah.
Smile. Tell us about Smile Project Louisville and the impact you've seen since that day.
It's overwhelming. I do ask God continually to be grounded and humble because when you have to process the impact and how it inspires others, and you hear simple words of amazing and awesome continually day in and day out, I continue to put myself back in the same place in which I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude that went through the struggles and challenges in life and kind of started to find his way and understanding that, we chase too many materialistic things. And really, again, as I said earlier, where the beauty, is the simplicity of life and where joy and happiness truly come from are the relationships in which I looked at my relationship with my daughter. And, when you're a parent, you don't hear those three simple words, I love you, but yet you hear it and feel it. And that's the part of love. Love is an action when you feel it. Yeah, we want to hear those three simple words, but with my daughter, Maddie, it's how I felt it, never thinking that it would intersect at a drive-through.
Right.
When all I wanted when I was going through the challenges, still 3 years ago, that it would intersect with Chantrell because I wanted 2 large chilies on a cold February late morning.
Right, exactly. That's great. Well, do you ever get afraid? I mean, I've watched you. You're going up to strangers. Does it ever? Do you get anxious?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that I do understand that I've been kind of hardwired and blessed with that innate ability to be a high extrovert. When I'm going up to complete strangers, I often feel that I'm calming, I'm charming. I guess you could say I'm a wordsmith, and I find the ability to be witty enough that the right words in the right moments come out, whether it's a picture, whether it's a video, that I put people at ease, even though I am, a stranger. When you walk out of a grocery store, and this happened now, I guess, about 1.5 years ago, as a white dude, when you decide to put your arm around a black lady,
Right.
I mean,
Right,
you have to
exactly.
make them feel pretty comfortable almost immediately. And I did, because I made it a fun moment in which I was like, when's the last time a white dude put his arm around you?
I love it.
And she looked at me and smiled, and she had a friend with her. And then we started laughing and smiling. And there wasn't but this 1 minute interaction. There were no pictures, there were no videos. And that's a lot of times too, Ted, what I try to impress upon people is that, look, people see the videos, they see the pictures, but yet that is only a small slice of how I really try to impress upon people how I live and how they can live to find that joy and happiness in their life.
I love it. Well, I'm watching the feed over here. Is it Raquel? Am I saying that right?
It's Raquel Boris, yes.
Raquel. So she said, "Hi, bestie, Michael Ray," and then she said, "You're more than just a dude." So she is interacting, and I love it. Anybody else? Certainly feel free to ask a question. So, Michael, what's a memorable story you can share about when you had to live out winning the day?
Without winning the day?
No. Live out.
And winning the
Sorry,
day.
live out winning the day.
There's so many stories now, and that's kind of what I'm filled about. When I made a transition from doing pictures to videos, but one for me, there was a 28-year-old teacher who was battling stage 3 colon cancer, and the school had reached out to me because they found such insane positivity from this teacher, in that she kept showing up, every day to teach these 9 and 10-year-old kids, even though she was battling for her life. And it was the first time, when we talk about, I really don't know what I'm going to say. When I go do these things, I only get one opportunity. You're in the moment. It's very real. There are human beings involved in it. In some cases like this, they're battling very real life circumstances. It's stage 3 colon cancer. And it hit me in that moment with her, as these kids walked up and they started hugging her. I said, we smile and make others smile because life is hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And for people like her who choose to, still smile and be positive through such adversity, never knowing, when I said that about 8 months later, I got introduced to a motivational speaker in Canada. I can't even take street credit for this. And he asked me if I had ever heard of the company called Life is Good. And it's like, oh, yeah, man, that company's awesome, man. It's all about stick figures, and they sell all kinds of merch, and life is awesome. But he asked me, he goes, do you know what their mission statement is? And I was like, they have a mission statement? I'm like, all I thought they did was sell T-shirts. But they do. But when he mentioned what the 3 simple phrases were to me, it took me back to what it felt like to say those simple words to a school teacher. And that is, life is not perfect. Life is not easy, but life is good.
Man.
And when I heard that, I was like, it's just like smiling because life is hard, and being able to still smile because life is still good regardless of whatever your circumstances you're going through in life.
Absolutely. Well, I love your story. God has clearly shown favor on you, and I believe you've answered his call. I mean, the first time I stumbled across you in my feed, your story warmed my heart. I love seeing the pictures with Maddie Moo. I love all that you're doing. So I guess what I have to ask is, how do you stay motivated day in and day out to keep smiling?
I think it's pretty simple, in that I have found a place where I do look at life differently. I don't feel the fear, the stress, the anxiety. Um, I find a lot of passion and emotion and love from my daughter in the relationships in life. And look, and you mentioned it, and I don't put it on people, but I'm a man of God
Mm-hmm.
and I have intense faith. And when I get those opportunities to talk about what my relationship is with Christ and how he kind of guides me, I mean, look, when you have that power and fuel from the Lord, baby, I
Amen.
mean, it obviously is an amazing, feat of strength. So, for me, and I tell people, one of my, I really had two mentors when I made the decision to change my mindset too. Of course, one was Gary Vee. The second one was an amazing dude by the name of John Gordon. And his in creating an insane positive mindset. Look, I still have challenges daily, but I look at those challenges much differently in my life today than I did years ago when I battled depression,
Mm-hmm.
and came basically face to face with the Lord because I didn't want in 2014 to live anymore.
Mm.
I didn't think that my life had any value. But, I tell people God speaks to us all the time, but what happens most of the time is we just choose not to listen.
Amen.
So in that moment, I believed in a calling of that with patience that good things would come. It took years because God's time is different than our time.
That's
You
right.
know.
Well, I love it. And clearly, here you are 7 years later. You are making a difference, my friend. You are impacting. I see your feed. I see the joy that you bring. I am curious, though, what prompted the Florida trip? I mean, what, or maybe the whole decision to go take
Yeah.
Smile
So
Project to Florida, other than
I
sunny
guess
beach,
I
of course.
guess as the movement evolved, we got to early last year going, okay, maybe we start taking it on the road because so many people were like, man, how can we do it here? When would you come visit us?
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So once we got to last summer, we had thought long and hard about maybe doing it then, and then there was a shift. So we backburnered it. And as we got later in this year, I said, okay, moving into 2021, I am going to do it. I am going to do, something much differently. And the beauty of developing relationships like with Raquel Boris on LinkedIn and so many others, that's what happened in Florida. I drove about 1,000 miles over the course of a week. I met with 30 different people that I had never met before in my life from LinkedIn. Of those 30, about 20 of us actually went out and we blessed people, man, and we
I
made them
love it.
feel loved and smile in the moment. And it was an amazing journey. And I've known Raquel now through my LinkedIn journey for about a year, and I'm going to connect with her and her family in California here in a few weeks.
All
And
right.
we're
How
going to take the
awesome.
same thing that we did in Florida, and we're basically going to start in Vegas and go to San Diego, LA, up through the state, and same concept, and connect with about 25, 30 people and do the same thing and take our message to the masses in Cali on the West Coast.
I love it. Well, we need to get together and figure out a way to track you so we can have a smile meter that we have all across the U.S. So let's talk afterwards. You can probably make that
Right,
happen.
brother? Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the end of the show. I just want to ask, how do you personally unwind after winning the day?
Normally, especially when it's nice out, I'm a deck guy. And I am from the great state of Kentucky, and Kentucky offers a lot of iconic things. And I'm not a huge drinker,
Yeah,
but I do enjoy a glass of bourbon, which comes from my backyard.
that's right.
Like 97% of the world's bourbon comes from the state of Kentucky. So it's truly just hanging with the people that I love in life and just chilling on the deck. And sometimes that means a bourbon, and sometimes that means a stogie. And
There you go.
and just a little bit of music, man, and give
There you
thanks
go.
for what we have in our life.
I love it. Well, I am so honored that you took the time to be with us today. Love your story. I'm going to continue to follow it and watch you bring smiles all across the nation.
Well,
And
my brother, I always say it's a two-way street. It starts with you, so thank you for bringing me into your world today. I have been blessed by spending time with you, so thank you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure and honor. And on that note, go win the day every day.